A little while ago, I did a video talking about the new Necromunda hired gun game and whether or not I should bother to review it because the physical copy got delayed and I only buy physical copies. And also in that video, I gave some information on the dates that changed around, when things got delayed a bit more, delayed a bit less, things moved around quite a lot, but all of a sudden things have changed yet again. And I will quickly say this is not a normal video, this is more of a quick update video and I'm going to try to get through it as quickly as possible. So I won't be going into all of that, subscribe, please subscribe to the channel, blah 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 stuff right now because, you all know what to do. But anyway, let's get into what the actual issue is. So I think the first thing to do would be to bring you all up to speed on what happened initially. So Necromunda Hired Gun was supposed to release on the 1st of June, with the physical copies coming out on the 30th of June, and this was something that the company knew was going to happen. The publishers of this game knew that the digital edition of the game would appear on stores on the 1st of June and the physical edition would come on the 30th of June. They literally had this in their trailers. Now, I obviously don't work for any of these companies, but my cynical brain, or at least the cynical side of my brain, is telling me that they wanted to sort of push people to buy the digital version as opposed to the physical version, so they brought it out early on digital. However, I don't know, it could have been a logistical issue, I really do not know. However, a statement was released on Twitter by the official Necromunda account that told everyone the physical version was going to be delayed from the 30th of June to the 16th of July. Now, that would make it nearly a month and a half, or roughly a month and a half after the digital version release. Now, of course, they said the problem was due to things like getting the discs pressed in time and shipped around the world in time and all that stuff. And I was like, well, fine, there's been a pandemic on, there's been delays, there's been all sorts of crap going on worldwide. So, fine, first world problems, a game is a game. I can wait for it, And of course, by this point, all the reviews were already out because people had the digital version of the game days or even weeks, before the 1st of June. So the reviews are out. The game has basically come and gone at this point. So I just thought, well, I'll just wait and I'll play it when I get it. I asked my viewers what they thought, and a few people did ask me to review it anyway, which I will still do. Some people expressed interest in seeing it, and I'm a small channel, so it's all practice, right? It's all good. I just need to quickly cut in here and say that some new information has come to light regarding a similar issue with a different game, and this has happened while I was actually trying to edit this video together, so I'll interject this somewhere into the video. I'm not sure where right now as I'm recording it, but I'll put it in there somewhere. Basically, what's happened was I got an email today from the online store where I ordered the Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance game, and that email basically just says that the game's been delayed till July 13th. But only the physical version, as with Necromunda, so that's now the second game to do something similar, within basically the same month leading into the next month. And of course, as I'm recording this, other people's reviews are actually landing on YouTube already, and I won't get my copy until sort of mid-July, which is absolutely wonderful. But really the weird thing that I noticed was that they gave virtually the same, almost word-for-word answer that the publishers of Necromunda gave on their official Twitter page. They sort of gave the same answer, which was unspecified development problems, which to me, I don't really know what that entails, but it just, I wish they had have just been honest and just said this is the problem, because then we could have at least said, okay, fair enough. But now it makes it sound like they're trying to hide something. I don't know what they're doing with it, but anyway, without trying to make this any longer, that's another thing that's happened. Necromunda, as I said, has been delayed. We know about that. That's what the rest of this video is kind of talking about. I just wanted to interject this in here because, again, just received a message that says Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance is now also delayed into July, like mid-July. So I guess it is what it is, but we'll go back to the original recording right now. So at this point, I'm thinking, well, I'm going to get the game on the 16th of July. I'm going to have to play it for a few days, blah, 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 okay, fine, whatever. Then they came out with a second statement on the official Twitter page, very shortly after the initial one that I just mentioned to you. And they said, actually, we've been able to sort it out a little bit better. It's not perfect, but we've been able to do something about it. So they made it so that the physical versions of most of the games would actually come out on the 30th of June like they were supposed to. However, the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 versions would be only delayed to July 6th. So, I was happy with that. I was like, well, you've managed to do something that's cut it down from July 16th to July 6th. Okay, great. Still not brilliant. I'd rather it came out on the 1st of June with the actual digital version, but whatever, it is what it is. And, you know, perhaps they could have delayed the digital version till the 30th if they knew it was going to be this, whatever. It doesn't really even matter at this point. So that's where I was at when I left that last video that I made. As far as I knew, my game was going to be getting to me around July 6th. So I was going to get the game, play it for a few days, then make my review on it. Then about a week passed and I got an email from Amazon, which is where I ordered Necromunda. I order from various different places depending on, you know, price and things like that. But this particular game I ordered from amazon.co.uk and I got an email from them and it said, unfortunately, your game has had a delay and it's been changed again. And I'm like, oh God, what's happened now? I kept reading and it said your game is delayed until July 23rd. And, yeah, you know, I'm just so disappointed in that. I mean, again, it's a first world problem thing. Oh no, a grown man can't get his video games. I understand it's not a big deal, you know, in the grand scheme of things, but it's just so irritating, you know? And then I thought, oh, maybe it's just Amazon. Maybe it's a problem that Amazon's got with their shipment or something. So I went to look at a few other sites that I generally order from. And no, they all say, you know, release date 23rd of July. So, yeah, at this point, it looks like I'm stuck waiting until the 23rd of July to even get the game in my hands. And of course, some of you who may be new to the channel or just some of you that are subscribed might even say, well, just buy it digitally. Just buy it digitally and get it over with, you know, just play it if you really want it. And my answer to that would be, I'm afraid I can't do that. I do not believe in buying digital games when there's a physical copy available. If there is no physical copy for a game, you know, perhaps an indie developer has made a game and they just can't afford to get, you know, that many games printed, okay, fine. You know, if it's a reasonable price, I will perhaps consider a digital download. But if it's a £50, you know, full price game, which again is what, $60 in America, I would never download that, no matter what, even if there was no physical copy. You know, if it was digital only, I still wouldn't do it. And I'll say this right now, if Necromunda was only digital, I wouldn't be downloading it. I just wouldn't be doing it. And that really kind of pisses me off, quite frankly, because it's heading, I'm not going to get into the whole thing now, but it's heading to that future where all our games are just going to be like owned by somebody else and they get to dictate to us when we can play them, which is why I love old games so much, because they're just there, you can just play them. And obviously there is some variation in that, you know, some old games are stupid expensive, so you couldn't play them even if you wanted to, but then again, emulation exists for just that reason, so there's ways around it. But just to give you a really tiny example, I've said on this channel before that I was a huge fan of Power Rangers, and I still am a huge fan of Power Rangers. In fact, I have a gigantic poster on my wall behind me that's got, you know, all of the Red Rangers from 93 up to, I think, 2016 or something like that, when I got the poster. But my point is, just the other day, you know, I was talking to my wife about one of the seasons in Power Rangers that we watched together that we actually really liked, and that was Power Rangers RPM. And I know this is a bit of a tangent, but it's a bit more of an adult story. It's like an end of the world thing where everyone's dead except for this one city that the Power Rangers protect. And it's quite a cool story, right? And I was talking to my wife about watching it again, and then I realized, oh, hang on, we watched it on Netflix, and now if you go to Netflix, it's no longer there. You can't watch RPM on Netflix, at least in the UK. So, yeah, it's gone. It's been dictated to me that I'm no longer allowed to watch that, even though I paid them a subscription fee. I don't anymore, by the way, but I paid them that fee to watch it. And it's the same thing if you start wanting to watch things that are on Netflix that don't get a DVD release, then you're screwed. And by the way, a lot of the Power Rangers stuff didn't get very good DVD releases in the UK. They're very hit and miss, and they're quite hard to find sometimes. I'm going to look into it a bit more, but it's just kind of the way it is. So yeah, sorry for the tangent, but it's just one of these things where it's annoying me that this is the future we're heading to and people seem okay with it. Maybe it's just because more modern people like the modern convenience. You know, they've grown up with these modern conveniences and they seem completely normal to them, whereas someone like me in his 30s and then someone in their 40s, 50s or whatever, they'd be much happier having a physical copy because that's how they grew up. I really don't know what the answer is here, because I think this future is coming whether we like it or not, because eventually enough of us that remember all the physical copies will be gone, in 100 years, 150 years time. No one will remember that physical copies even existed, right? That's probably how it will go. But anyway, enough doom and gloom. This was supposed to be a short video, but I've started ranting and I need to stop myself now before I carry on for another 20 minutes. So, yep, if you're new to the channel, subscribe if you want to. I'll update you on Necromunda when I get a chance. But with all that said, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.